Good morning. Another day, another live video. And 7:58, so going live in about 2 minutes with today's topic. But I'd like to get into the video a little bit early so that anyone who wants to join can join before we get started. Hope everybody's doing well today. I gotta be honest, today was one of those days where I was like, oh, it's Friday, a little tired. But you know what? I'm here. I'm committed to continuing to bring you guys some great information. So I'm gonna try to bring the energy today. That's why I put my tie on today, to give myself a little energy. I said, I need to get that good feeling going for the morning so we can do this. Welcome to the live video. Whoever's out there watching, I do see that. Oh, my friend. Oh, Ashley Jackson's in here watching. Awesome. Welcome. DeAndre, welcome to the video. Yeah, so we're going to get started in just a minute here. Good morning. DeAndre's another awesome agent here in Louisiana, here in Baton Rouge. But you might know him as Montre JD in the video. Juan, bienvenidos al video. Welcome to the video. Welcome to the live. We're going to be starting in just a moment here. 8 o'clock, showtime. So let's just go ahead and roll on into it. We're talking about teams versus solo agents. I guess that's a topic that, when I started to talk about this topic and I sat there and started to write down my thoughts on it, I was like, you know what? I should have picked a different topic. Because if you can't tell, I'm pretty passionate about real estate. I'm passionate about clients. I'm passionate about agents. And I found that this was a topic where I was like, you know what? I'm dragging a little bit. But as I started to roll on and start to continue to write down my thoughts, I realized, you know what? I do have a lot to say on this topic. This is actually a pretty interesting topic. So more and more, we see a lot of groups. If you are watching the real estate community at all, if you have friends on Facebook and you know a lot of real estate agents on Facebook, you're going to see a lot of this group, that group. Carla, welcome to the video. Carla's watching with us. Good morning. You're going to see this group, that team, this property group, this team, this real estate team. So what's going on? Why all of a sudden are all these agents grouping up, and why is everyone doing groups? What is that? Right? Why is it becoming popular? Do agents benefit from it? Why are they doing it? And most important, does it benefit the consumer? Because these videos are first and foremost for the consumer, right? If I can drop a couple of, gems for the agents out there, hey, I love to do that too. But first and foremost, these videos are for the consumer. So let's start by talking about teams. What is a team? Okay. So a team typically is going to be 2 or more licensed individuals, right? Not unlicensed. These are people with real estate licenses. Dios es mi fortaleza is watching. Welcome to the video. Thank you for watching. So a team is going to be 2 or more licensed individuals working together as a team. And what they're doing is they're sharing clients. Now, the members of the team may not actually be working on the same client. So you may not have 2 or 3 people working on the same client, but they're definitely working out of the same database, the same group of clients, the same network. And oftentimes they are working on the same client. Many times they are working on the same client. What they'll do is they'll specialize the tasks. Well, they'll say, well, you're going to deal with this first person and they're going to show you the homes, and then I'm going to help you write the contract. So you have team dynamics where some of the tasks can be split up. Or sometimes, like I said, it's just a matter of working the same database of clients. They say this is our database. These are the people that we know, and we're going to, divide the work, but we're going to split the profits. Okay? So why is this popular? Bridget, good morning. Welcome to the video. Bridget's one of our awesome agents at Goodwood Realty. As you know, just to recap, I am the broker and owner of Goodwood Realty here in Baton Rouge. And so this information, again, is just for my community. It's just for the people who follow and watch and want to learn more about real estate. That's why I'm doing this. So why are agents doing it? Why are agents making teams all the time? Well, to answer the question of why teams are becoming popular, we have to answer the question of why do agents even do it? because those two questions really go hand in hand. Now, first, I just want to make one thing clear. I'm not talking about couples. I'm not talking about husband and wife teams, because if you know couples, each couple has their own dynamic, right? Husband and wife team is not always going to be the same as like a real estate team of just two licensed agents who decided they were going to work together. That's totally different. So I'm going to exclude them, because I view a husband and wife team or a couple, right? A team that's a couple together as, I view them almost like one person, right? It's almost like if you go out with a couple. If you hang out with a couple, sometimes it's almost like you're going out with one person. It's just two of them. But they share a lot of the lows, and the lines can be a little bit more blurry. In a traditional team, you're going to have very well-defined roles and well-defined lines. Alita's watching this morning with us. Good morning, Alita. Welcome to the video. Right, so we're not talking about couples that have their own dynamic. Really, I'm talking about real estate teams that start with one person and then they add people as they go. Good morning, Carla. Welcome. So teams originally really rose out of necessity, meaning you had an agent who's out there and he is or she is doing just tons of business, and it gets to the point where they cannot handle all the business they have. That is where the team mentality really arose from. Someone saying, I need help. I need more than just me to handle the amount of business that I'm doing. I can't take out 10 buyers. If you think about it, right? If you're working with a buyer, as an example, each buyer has their needs. They need to go out at certain times. And you can't just say, hey, Mr. Buyer, let's go look at properties on my schedule. You have to go according to their schedule, because that buyer has a job. That's why they can buy a house. They can buy a house because they're making money, right? 9 times out of 10. So we have to go according to their schedule. Now, let's say I had 4, we don't have to say 10. Let's say I have 4 or 5 buyers at a time. They may all have overlapping schedules, and they may all need to see houses. And so, as an agent, as a mega agent, that puts me in a predicament. Like, do I pick one buyer over another one? Do I tell you, this buyer here, hey, you got to wait till tomorrow. I can't take you today. And how do I juggle all this stuff? And so teams arose out of the necessity to service more clients, right? So that they could give that same level of service to each one and not show favoritism. So originally, if you think about teams, it's almost a prestigious thing to say, I have so much business that I need help. That I need a team. I need an extra buyer's agent. I need an extra seller's agent, because I have so many buyers and so many sellers that I cannot handle and give the same level of service to all of them. So I need to start building a team. So it also can be looked at almost as a prestigious thing. Wow, this person's got a team. The Phil Devin team, the Phil Devin group. Oh boy, So, you can see the reason for the popularity is because, well, there's a lot of agents out there doing a lot of business. And then there's also a lot of agents out there who want to look like they're doing a lot of business. So they might say, hey, let me start the group. Let me start my team. Funny story. I remember a couple of years ago, I'm sitting at the office and I see a car pull up, and it's a brand new agent. I know this guy got his license like last week, and he's got his name followed by group on the side of his car, the so-and-so group. I was like, where's the group? Are you the group? So, some agents will do it just for the clout, honestly. So not all teams are going to be equal. Now, let me just pause for one moment and explain the difference between a brokerage and a team, right? Because as I mentioned, I own a brokerage, which is a real estate company. Now, brokerages are essentially hands-off. We cannot, in fact, 99% of brokerages have agents who are independent contractors. So we legally can't even tell the agents what to do. I can't tell the agents at Goodwood Realty, hey, you have to come in at this day, you have to do this, you have to do that. Illegal. They're not employees, they're independent contractors. They run their own businesses. And what a brokerage is essentially a platform from which they can run their business. Lauren, good morning, Lauren. Welcome to the video. Lauren was actually our top producing agent in the month of June. So again, as a broker, that's a little different from a team, because we have independent contractors that use us as the platform for their business. really, we really as a brokerage work for the agent. But with a team, the dynamic's a little different because you have the mega agent, the agent who's doing all the business, and they are essentially hiring people. And so they are going to be able to tell those people what to do to a degree, because they're going to say, hey, if you want to stay on my team, these are the requirements. This is what you need to do. Also, that mega agent is providing the business for the rest of the team. See, we as the brokerage, we can share some of the business that comes into the company, but it's unrealistic for a brokerage to completely provide all the business for the agents. That's not really how this works. Of course, the agents have to go and get their own business. They are independent contractors. So there's a difference between a team and a brokerage. And we're not talking about brokerages today. Maybe we'll do that in another video. We're talking about teams. But going back to what the team is, it's popular because it's a solution to a problem. Problem of, I've got too much business. But ultimately, understand this, that a team is just a support system for one agent. So typically, you're going to have one agent who brings in the business. In some circles, in some companies, they call them the rainmaker, right? In other places, they call them the team leader. But whatever it is, one agent's usually bringing in the business, and the team is typically the support system around that high-producing agent. So whether an agent is a part of a team, or whether they have a team, or whether they don't, understand this, that any high-producing agent is going to have a support system, because no one can do it on their own. Some people might call it a team. Some people might say, I have an administrative assistant, but there's always going to be some kind of support system, because frankly, there's a lot of work in real estate, right? Think about a real estate agent. Let's think about a day in the life of a typical of a high producing real estate agent. Okay? Because even before we get into the business, even before we even touch a client, right? We've got to start with their personal lives. Personal development. You have to think about business planning, right? Education, scheduling, life balance, right? So a lot of agents are getting up at 5, 6 in the morning just to do their, let's say, exercise, maybe read a little something that can help them continue to grow in their business, educate themselves, and this is all before 9 a.m. This is all before we even touch a client, right? And no one's going to do that for an independent contractor. No one's giving you a schedule. No one is keeping you healthy. No one is keeping your life in balance. No one is planning your business out. No one is setting goals for you. And all those things are part of being a business owner. Understand that being an agent is being a business owner. So now, let's say we hit 9 a.m. What do they actually have to do for work? Well, again, before we even have a client, the agent has to go and get clients. In fact, that's the biggest part of the business. Okay, that's the little secret in real estate. It's not HGTV, guys. You don't get a license and then all of a sudden, you're whisked away into a house and now you're opening a door and saying, this is the kitchen, this is the bathroom. That's television. That's not reality. The reality is you get a license and you're sitting there until someone calls. Or you got to go out and find the people. And that's what lead generation is. So the agent is responsible not only for building their business, planning their business, but now also going and getting the clients. This is the biggest part of the business. Okay, this is something that a top agent is going to devote hours to every single day, multiple hours, right? Lead generation means phone calls. It may mean knocking on people's doors and trying to find business. It may mean going from business to business, passing out cards. It may mean networking, all this other stuff. And again, we haven't even talked about the work that's involved once the clients come into play, right? Now you're doing all this lead generation. You're making all these contacts, meeting new people, right? And this includes meeting new people, but it also includes reaching out to the people you know as well, right? So you have to do both. That's what lead generation is. So it includes meeting new prospects, relationship management, and then administration. Because you can't leave it to chance. It's like, hey, I saw my buddy the other day. Well, when am I going to see him again? Right? Because if he needs real estate in 6 months, but I don't speak to him between now and then, he may find someone else. So not only that, I have to also plan ahead for when I'm going to continue to reach out to my network, to the people I know and love. So that's called relationship management. All of this is a part of the life of a real estate agent, the daily life of a real estate agent. Niadia, welcome to the video. Good morning. So again, we still haven't even touched on the client yet, right? We're gonna now say, okay, well, I met this new person. I got to put their contact information into my database, make sure I have their phone number, all the special occasions that I know about, what's their spouse's name, what are their kids' names, etc. I'm gonna write down all this information. What did we talk about? Because, you know, in a couple of weeks, I need to turn around and say, hey, I got to reach out to this person again. So I don't want to forget those details. Okay. So now let's pretend that we do have a client. Let's add a client to the mix, right? If you have a buyer, now you're also now having to deal with vendors. So you're on the phone with lenders, you're on the phone with title attorneys, etc. You also have to coordinate the transactions, help the buyer get from A to Z, because they may not know exactly the process. So you're coordinating that. You're setting up termite inspections and home inspections and appraisals, all this other kind of stuff. You're doing showings. You're doing the HGTV stuff. You're taking people out to different houses. What else are you doing? You're doing property searches, actually helping people to even find the houses that they're going to go see. You're consulting, advising. There's a lot of therapeutic activity in real estate because there's a lot of emotions in real estate. And as the agents, you know, a lot of times we have a much different perspective than the client. The client's in the situation. They're in the mix. They're freaking out. We're kind of we have a little bit of a different perspective because we've seen these situations before. But then we have to talk people through it and help them to understand what they're dealing with. Documentation. There's a lot of legal documents that have to go into real estate. If you're dealing with a seller, you've got to help them prepare the home. Right? Which again might mean coordinating with vendors, getting them a painter, getting them the handyman who can fix up the home for them, getting it ready on the market, staging it, right? Marketing it, printing flyers, designing the flyers, getting distributing the flyers, and any other type of marketing that you want to do, right? Going online and filling out 1 million different forms to get it on a bunch of different websites, getting it all over the place. Home valuation. Right? How does the seller know what it's worth? You got to go measure the home, compare it to other homes in the market, negotiation, coordinating repairs after people ask for repairs to be done, dealing with the closings, and not to mention the whole time that you're doing this, you're running all over town. You're putting signs in yards, you're putting lock boxes on the doors. You know, you're helping pick up deposits and deliver deposits. You're all over town. And your area might be wide, so one day I might be in Prairieville at 9 o'clock and in Baker at 12 o'clock and then down to Port Allen by 5 o'clock. For those of you who are not in Baton Rouge, those are some areas around here, right? But if you're from here, you know that's a big trip. That's going to take a lot of my time up. And that's before you even get to the closing. Now, after the closing, you still have to deal with your accounting. Remember, you're a business person, so you still have to do your accounting. Make sure that you know where your money's going. Make sure all your bills are paid. You have to do your budgeting, more admin work, making sure everything's up to date. So can you imagine for a moment the life of a real estate agent? How much work, how many hats they have to wear each day? How much work is actually involved? It might be more than what you originally thought if you're not familiar with it. If you're in the industry, you know it's more than what I even said, right? I'm just mentioning some things, but there's a lot more detail to each one of those things. So some tasks are visible. Some tasks are highly visible. Showing properties, that's highly visible. Sitting at the closing table, that's highly visible. Doing a property search with a client, that's highly visible. Then there's some tasks that you don't see the agent doing. You don't see them doing their admin, putting their information for the people they met that day into the computer. You don't see them really writing up the paperwork. Ray's watching. Hey, Ray, welcome. Glad you could tune in. But you don't see them answering the phones all day long. You don't see all this other stuff that goes into it. So, either way, the agent's going to need a support system. And whether an agent has a team or whether they're a solo agent typically depends on this. Which tasks are they going to ask for help with? If they're asking for help with the highly visible tasks, the showings, the closings, the property searches, chances are they're going to have a team. Because you as the client are going to need to meet these other people who are helping that agent. You're going to have to really interact with their support system. And so at that point, it's like, hey, let's make a team. And I'm going to say this guy's my buyer's agent, so you know if you're a buyer, he's going to be helping you. But of course, you still have me as the consult. I'm still the owner of the team. I am the team leader. I am the rainmaker. So if you need help, I am here. But who's going to take you to the houses? This person over here. So, because that's a highly visible activity, I'm going to make a team. Now, if I am going to handle the visible activities myself and get a support system for the invisible activities, like the admin stuff, the documentation, again, the data entry, answering the phones, then I may just have an assistant. I may just have an administrator. And I may not call myself a team, but really the reality is that's a part of my team. Without that administrator, without that person doing that, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. I wouldn't be able to do all that stuff, right? I may have a runner, someone who's putting up the signs and putting up the lock boxes. Well, they're not on my team. I'm not going to call them a part of my team. I'm going to call them my runner. It's just two different terms for the same thing. But no matter what, if you're a high producing agent, you've got a support system, right? So if you've only have a few clients, then yeah, you're truly a solo agent. You don't really have any support. But even outside of the what we do for the clients, I may have an accountant. Is that a part of my team? He's not he's not a licensed real estate agent, but he's definitely part of my support system. I may have a business coach. It's a part of my support system to help me do my business planning and my goal setting and my life balance. So no matter what, any high producing agent has a support system. Remember that. So whether they call it a team or whether they call it something else, their support system, it's really two sides to the same coin. So now we talked about all those different things that an agent has to do. And yeah, one talented individual can do those things. They can handle all those things. But specializing and having a support system or having a team allows a specific person to excel at a specific job. And that's part of the beauty of actually making a team. Because when you visibly say and accept the fact that, hey, I'm gonna let this person handle this part of the business, that allows that person to focus only on their task. If I am the buyer's agent for a team, I don't have to worry about marketing the listings. I don't have to worry about staging. I don't have to worry about budgeting and accounting and business planning. I just have to worry about my buyers. So if a team has a good buyer's agent, and this is just an example because like I said, any part of the business can be specialized. But if a team has a good buyer's agent, as an example, I can take that buyer agency to a whole nother level than what a solo agent might be able to do because that's all I have on my plate. I don't have these other things on my plate. So a team can be beneficial when you want people who specialize and become very talented in a very specific area. What does this all mean? Because again, I said this video is about the consumer, right? It's not about advocating for teams. It's not about advocating for solo agents. It's not about saying either one's good or bad. This is just about the facts. This is for you guys, the consumers. So what it really means is this. Here's the bottom line. There's no one right way to do it. Surprise. Did you know I was going to that? That I was going to get to that at some point? There's no one right way. You can call it a team. You can call it administrative assistance. Ultimately, there might be some slight advantages. If you have a solo agent who's representing themselves as a solo agent, you're only dealing with one person. You know that because you're not really dealing with their support system. That's something that they're going to deal with on their own. So if you want to just deal with the one person, you want to just build one relationship, right? You only have to like one person. Solo agent's good in that regard. With a solo agent, you're going to have the same exact standards across the board. No matter what they're doing, their standards are going to be the same. So if this is the kind of person who's very consistent, very dependable, they answer their phone, they have good communication, well then if you're buying a home, selling a home, they're the same. It's the same person. So their standards really aren't going to change. Now their skills might be different in different areas. Becky, good morning. Welcome to the video. Their skill set might vary. They might be better at working with buyers and working with sellers, but their standards, their level of service is not necessarily going to change. It'll be the same because it's one person, right? But again, we just talked about the negative side, where their skill set might be different in different areas. One person cannot be equally skilled at all things. That's just not possible, right? Now, they can be highly skilled at everything, and that's okay. If somebody's been in this business a while, they've got experience, they can be very highly skilled in a lot of areas. But even then, again, they're going to excel in certain areas, and other areas they may just be a little bit weaker in. We just talked about all the different things that an agent has to do, right? So what about a team? An organized team, not a sloppy team, an organized team. One of the advantages is that they can perhaps provide a higher level of service in certain areas. Again, if all I do is focus on buyers, that's the only thing I do. Or if all I do is focus on sellers, I'm just that part of the team. I'm the seller's agent on the team. That's all I'm doing 24/7. I don't have to think about buyers. I don't have to think about paperwork. I don't have to think about anything else. All I'm doing is focusing on sellers. Chances are I'm going to get pretty good at it. I'm going to learn those little things that make the difference that maybe somebody whose focus is a little wider won't know. So you can potentially get a higher level of service for certain tasks with a team. Also, with a team, teams are very procedural. There's a lot of protocol to follow. So you do have high standards as well with a team, but again, the downside is the standards might not be the same with each player on the team. Because now you have to have multiple people holding to those standards, right? Instead of just one person holding to their own personal standards, you have multiple people trying to hold to the standards of the team leader. So hopefully they do, but if they don't, the standards might slip. Another good thing is it's not dependent on one person, right? Now, of course, the negative side is, you might have to deal with multiple people as a consumer, and you might not like that. You're like, I like this person. I want to talk to this person. Now I've got to go and work with this person over here. Even if they are highly skilled, maybe I just don't like them. You might not like everybody. The other negative, of course, is a team, like any team, is what? It's only as strong as its weakest link. So one weak part of that team, one person on that team who is not pulling their weight, can really drag down the whole organization. So here's what to watch for, right? Is a team, if you are going to be working with a team, is it a brand new agent that has a team? Because there's a very good chance that team might not be organized yet. An agent really needs to know what they're doing so that they can communicate their standards to the team. Now, can a new person do that? Yeah, absolutely, but it's rare. It's not going to be every single new agent. So if someone just popped on the scene, they just got their license, and all of a sudden they have a group or a team, you may want to look a little deeper into that. Another thing is, does the agent who has a team, do they do enough business to justify having a team? If this is an agent who doesn't do a whole lot of business, they probably don't need to have a team. Maybe they're trying to use the team to compensate for the lack of business. Maybe they're thinking, hey, if I can get more people here and a team, maybe we'll do more business. And that's not what a team is for. A team is for someone who's doing too much business. So watch for any sort of disorganization. Watch for any sort of confusion. If you see those things in a team, this is probably not the team to join. Not to join, but to use. But speaking of joining, right? Let's talk to the agents for a moment. Should you join a team? That's a great question. Understand this. If you are considering joining a team, just know that a team is not a magic pill for you not doing business. If you're not doing any business, a team is probably not going to fix that, right? Because a team is not going to improve your work ethic. It's not going to improve the things that are inside you, your commitment, your determination, because those are the things that really make us successful. Now we're going to be limited by our talent to some degree once we actually go and start doing something. But if we're not actually doing the thing, the team can't fix that. A team's not going to fix that. You need to be out there doing, working, trying. Now, if you find that there's one particular area of the business that you really excel in and that you love to do, boy, I just love working with buyers. I work with sellers, I do the other thing, but I really love this. And you know what? I wake up every morning and I do my calls and I try to do my lead generation, and I don't really love it. It's not my thing. Diana, welcome to the video. Thanks for watching. You might find in that situation that, hey, why shouldn't I just join a team? That way I can just do the thing I love. I can stay away from the things that I don't really like or that I'm not really that good at. But it's not a substitute for I'm not doing those things. If you're not willing to do those things, you're going to go to the team and drag that team down. You're not gonna succeed on the team if you're not doing anything on your own. So in that case, you don't need a team leader. You might need a business coach. Maybe even a therapist could help, and to unlock some of why you're not doing the things you need to do. You know, even if they're hard, because if you're in this business, you have to do the hard things. You have to. And guess what? Even when you're on the team and you're focused on the thing that you love, there's still going to be some aspects about that you don't care for. So you've got to get that under control, right? Maybe read some self-help books, or as I mentioned earlier, get a business coach. So a team is not a magic bullet, but you know, if you are beginning your career and you are working hard and you think that maybe a team can help you to learn new things, it could be a really great opportunity to work with a seasoned agent, see how they do things, learn from their business, and maybe take that for yourself. And possibly go out and one day and go back to being a solo agent with these new lessons and these new skills, right? So the bottom line is this, right? To team or not to team, that is actually not the question. The question is not whether you should use a team or not. The question is really more so, who is running the team, or who is the solo agent? Because solo agents are great, teams are great, both of them have support systems. The question is the agent, are they a strong agent? Are they skilled? Are they trustworthy? Are they committed to you? Are they organized? Are they accountable? Those are the things to look for. Not whether I say I have a team or whether I say I have an assistant or a support staff. It's two sides to the same coin, right? All agents have support systems, so don't sweat the details, okay? Work with the agent that gives you, what do we call that at Goodwood Realty? That good feeling. That's it, guys. So go out there, find you a great agent or find you a great team, and go be successful in your next real estate purchase or sale, okay? Again, for anybody who enjoys these videos, thatgoodagent.com is the website where you can get to my YouTube page. I'm That Good Agent on YouTube, also That Good Agent here on Facebook, and also on Instagram as well. So you can find me pretty much anywhere you want with the words That Good Agent. So that's me. Next video will be on Tuesday, and the topic we are discussing is going to be W-2s versus 1099s. That's not a really long discussion. That's a short topic, but it's an important topic for those of you thinking about buying a home. So I hope to see you guys Tuesday. Have a great, wonderful weekend, and until next time.